This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, truer words have never been said. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. Today is Monday, January the 6th of 2025, day 359th of the, well, it's really day 6 of the year, but only 359 days left to go before we get to the end of this thing. Yeah, I know, we're already talking about it. Yeah, 2025, we're already here. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, Radio Big. So how have you been? No, like, seriously, how have you been? It's been at least a couple of weeks. Like, seriously. This is my first broadcast from the studio. Since then, I mean, since we last hung out last year. I mean, I'm not talking about like last year. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, good times. Hopefully, a lot of stuff going on inside of your neck of the woods because that's always important. I will tell you that my house was a construction zone during the time apart. So that was interesting to see. Because I will tell you that when you're trying to cut things close for the holiday season, that was definitely a closer in regards to getting that stuff done. So anyways, I hope everything's good, grand, and all that fun stuff, because that's going to be important as we converse today and we go through all the stuff. So if you're good with this, I'm going to be good with this, and we're going to go through a whole rigmarole. Yes, I said a whole rigmarole of things to talk about today. So here's what's going to happen. If you're not familiar with what we do, we are a show that talks about safety in the news and safety. It's not all safety related, so kind of be okay with that. If you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com will get you moving and grooving. Yeah, that's callinradio. We'll get you moving and grooving inside of what we're doing. So that will get you in there. Video, audio, text messaging are the options that you get once you get over there. So not a problem whatsoever in regards to what we have going on. And then once you get there, it's going to ask you some limited information, and then we get moving. So outside of that, we have some professional broadcasters that come in, do their thing, and talk all about the stuff that is happening inside of the world of news and safety and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we start talking about what the hell was trending? Because some people tend to care a lot about that.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as we talk about the trend of the end, some backdoor dealing seals up the House Speaker's race, and a cartoonist revolts. Yes, revolts. We'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Also, Joel Alwyn has moved on in a couple of celebrity Liga woes. We'll talk about that as we get into showbiz. Also, a prop joint prank and Heidi Klum returns to Project Runway. We'll talk about that in casting calls and what else. Meghan Markle. Yes, Meghan Markle hit social media's milestone. We'll talk about that as we get into the Royals. So, with that being said, yeah, we're here. Show number 1 of 2025 between you and I. So if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go. And I think it's time for us to do that thing that we do where we bring in our little newscasters and they tell you everything that's going on. So let's do that right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he hopes to see a ceasefire deal in Gaza signed within the next 2 weeks. Trent Murray reports from FSN Tel Aviv.
Arriving in South Korea as part of his final overseas trip as America's top diplomat, Secretary Blinken said the Biden administration was, quote, very much wanting to bring this over the finish line in the next 2 weeks in the time we have remaining. His comments come amid reports the Biden administration is reportedly renewing its efforts to get a deal done before President-elect Trump returns to the White House on January 20. Ceasefire talks have been held in recent days in Doha, with Israeli media reporting cautious optimism that a deal could be close. Trent Murray, Tel Aviv.
The UK government setting out plans to slash waiting times for NHS treatment. People will be able to access screening centres out of hours as part of plans to clear the NHS backlog in England. The government says it will create millions more appointments and a major improvement in waits for pre-planned care. The opposition Conservatives say it shows the Labour Party have no new ideas. Industries in Pakistan are pushing back against a proposed plan to hike taxes on natural gas supplied to private power plants. As part of an ongoing $7 billion loan program for Pakistan, the International Monetary Fund is demanding a substantial increase. Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
Industries must either transition to grid electricity or pay equivalent costs. This was a key condition that Pakistan agreed to get the latest $1 billion loan from the global lender. But the country's petroleum ministry is now facing mounting pressure from key industries, especially textile exporters and gas utilities, to scrap this decision. They claim the added costs have led to significant financial losses throughout the supply chain. According to the finance ministry, Pakistani officials did try to persuade the IMF to modify this requirement. Hira Mustafa, Islamabad.
2 infants have tested positive for the human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, in India, in the country's first confirmed cases. The health ministry says they were identified during routine surveillance. Neha Punia reports from New Delhi.
The 3-month-old has already been discharged from hospital while the 8-month-old is still recovering. Both cases have been reported in the southern Indian city of Bengaluru. The infants and their families have no recent travel history, and the government has ruled out exposure from other regions or countries. India says there's no cause for alarm yet, but says it has increased laboratory capacity for HMPV testing. Hospitals have also been asked to strengthen isolation protocols for suspected cases. Neha Punia, New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, growing frustration in Europe over Elon Musk's continuing interference in the continent's affairs. Over the weekend, he kept up a blitz of messages over his social media platform, targeting the government of Keir Starmer in Britain for more criticism, even going after a politician long considered a Musk ally, Nigel Farage of Reform UK. He's also sown chaos in Germany, where the richest man in the world is aggressively promoting the far-right AfD in next month's elections. How should European governments respond?
It's a very hard question to answer because there's almost no precedent for it.
Arthur Snell is a former British diplomat and host of the podcast Behind the Lines.
We've certainly got lots of case studies of countries where we have bad relations being perfectly prepared to, say disobliging things about us. But Musk is, let's not forget, he's got a government role. He might be the richest man in the world and everyone knows he's a big businessman, but he's got his own role in Trump's government, the Department of Government and Efficiency. We've seen lots of people in this country already say that Keir Starmer or someone in the UK government needs to formally respond. The issue there is that no one wants to annoy Trump in the phase where Musk appears to be right inside his inner circle.
How long will the bromance between Trump and Musk last? We don't know, but it must definitely be coming under strain. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he hopes to see a ceasefire deal in Gaza signed within 2 weeks. The UK government setting up plans to slash waiting times for NHS treatment. Industries in Pakistan are pushing back against a plan to hike taxes on natural gas supplied to private power plants. And 2 infants have tested positive for the human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, in India in the country's first confirmed cases. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You are listening to a renowned safety expert, Dr. Jay Allen, on Safety FM. Changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time. Join the fun on social media and find us on Facebook at Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing that dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Yeah, you know it. Rated R Safety Show. Safety FM is the way that it works, and we're also hanging out on Radio Big doing our thing, so don't worry about any of that stuff, because that's what we're doing. Anyway, 6th of January, Hispanic community, Dia de los Reyes, you know, that's the celebration today. It's almost as big as Christmas for some, depending on what the hell you have going on. No doubt about that one. So anyways, I think we have some news to cover, because that's definitely, the alternative route that we're supposed to be taking. So let's go through some of the stuff. Some of the stuff that we need to go through, because that's going to be one of them. And I'll have to tell you that we were talking about doing a best of show. We didn't do any of those, just so you know, because it just didn't happen. Because I was like, what are we going to pull to do the best of? And I felt like everybody else was doing that. So if you were hanging out on Radio Big, people were doing that on that side. Cool for them. I just kind of felt like that we could just do musica for you, some musica, because it's important to listen to some music. So anyways, with that being said, let's get into it. Here, let's get into the top of the shit list. Joe Alwyn has hold on. Let's make sure that I have the right news story, because I was about to tell you something that was not importante. Let's do this. Let's do this one. Sister of Ina Carnbaro has been certified as the world's oldest person at 116 days. 116 years, 200 days. Carnbaro from Brazil also holds the title of the oldest nun in the world. For the most of her life, she's worked as a teacher. Guinness World Records believes that Carnbaro is the last living person born in 1908 and the only one of 3 people born during the first decade of the 20th century. This is according to Guinness World Records. That's some age. I mean, let's not lie here. I mean, that's something. Anyways, take a listen to this. A political cartoonist from the Washington Post has resigned after he says the paper scrapped her latest work criticizing its owner, Jeff Bezos, and incoming president, Donald Trump. The unpublished drawing by Anne depicts Bezos alongside with CEOs Mark Zuckerberg from Meta and Sam Altman from OpenAI kneeling with bags full of cash in front of Trump on a pedestal. Let's see. As far as Ann Tellison independently published her rough version of the work and called the Post the decision game changer and dangerous. For the past, reps of the Post say that they have scrapped cartoons because the subject of Bezos' relationship with Trump had already been covered. This is according to CNN. Let's see. Should we, do we have the image? I mean, I guess we have the image. Let's see if I can move it. There we go. That's the image. If you are hanging out on our video format, that is the image of what people are talking about. Is it important? I don't know. Is it going to change anything? I don't know. So there you go. That's why is the mouse dead? I don't get that one, but there must be some reference point there. So that's going to be the controversies. So there you go. You can find it online. You just go to Ward Sutton. At Ward Sutton, you'll find it. Not a dilemma to find, that is for sure. Anyway, speaking of Sam Altman, the tech whiz posted on Sunday that he believes his company will develop artificial general intelligence technology this year, a huge milestone for AI tech in which the program would be able to think and learn for itself. This is according to Altman. So that's going to be scary. I mean, let's just not lie. I mean, I will tell you, if you have been hanging out with a ChatGPT and prompting some of their stuff as of late, you will notice immediately, yes, immediately, how much it's changed in some of the stuff that it's able to pull. It's almost downright scary, some of the stuff that it's able to pull off and tell you. Like, I will tell you, a few days ago, I was messing around with it and just acting. I mean, I was just acting as if I was inside of a psychiatrist's office just to see what it would tell me. And I was amazed on some of the prompts. And then there was one thing that it told me that I thought was kind of weird. And I said, okay, I think this is incorrect and this is really what it should be. And it goes, oh, yes, you are correct. And then there was updating its info based on that. And I was like, that is strange. Anyways, you kind of get the riff there. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. Joe Alwyn has moved on from the 6-year relationship with Taylor Swift and thinks that everyone else should do the same. That's something for other people to do. We're talking about something that's a while ago now in life. Yep. He told The Guardian when asked about the past romance. Yep. So that's for other people. That's the way I feel. Swift and Allen split back in 2023 around the same time that she kicked off the Eras tour. So there you go. Who is this? I mean, should I care about this? Is this like going to be something important to me, or am I going to be like, am I wasting a lot of time looking into some of this information for sure? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Has moved on from BuzzFeed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't try to keep up with that stuff. It's not important to me. It might be important to you. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. Anyways, rapper Tulo accidentally fired his gun during an appearance on the latest episode of One-on-One with Mike D podcast. While discussing his past life choices and rooting around with a pocket of his jeans, a loud bang brings the conversation to a halt. Who shot who? Somebody got shot, Mike D asked, while the voice off the camera asked, You good, Lo? Thankfully, no one was hit. There's a video of it, because why wouldn't there be? So there's a video available for that. I never know if these things are worth watching.
Those were your choices.
Listen.
Who shot who?
Yep.
Somebody got shot? You good, Lo? I hope. Those were
yeah, I mean, I just did the audio, but the dude, it's like, I probably, because, you never know what the hell's going to happen if I try to put that on a social media thing. But yeah, that is the craziness of what's going on. I mean, you heard that. Could you imagine just be hanging out, all of a sudden somebody's rummaging in their pockets and voila, voila, voila. That is the number that occurs. So there you go. Just a weird one. Anyways, after an 8-year hiatus, Heidi Klum is making her return to host the Project Runway. Yeah. Klum helmed the debut season of the show alongside co-host Tim Gunn in 2004, and she stayed for 16 years. Season 21 of the fashion design competition shows will premiere sometime this year, with 10 weekly episodes on Freeform, Disney Plus, and Hulu. This is according to Billboard. So are people going to be excited about this? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of I guess it's cool that they're coming back. Whatever. I mean, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Why do I feel like we're kind of going backwards today? I feel like we're talking about some other stuff ahead of time. Anyways, a documentary centered around Melania Trump will hit theaters and streaming services later this year. Amazon MGM describes the not yet titled film as an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at the First Lady. Trump serves as an executive producer of the project via The Wrap. So let's see. Some stuff going on there. What do you think? What else? What else do we got? Let's talk about some of this other stuff because I think that this is going to be important for some to hear if you care to hear this. Some startling new job data shows how much the labor market has tightened over since the pandemic era job switching and remote work boom. Over 7 million Americans without a job and looking for work in November. More than 1.6 million have been hunting for at least 6 months. That's double the number at the same time in 2022. Also, at the start of 2022, there were 2 job openings for every American looking for work. Now it's down to 1-on-1. The Wall Street Journal points out that the wage growth is also down about 2 points over the last 2 years. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. So what do you think there? I mean, that's an interesting one. What do you think about this? And what do you think about all this stuff going on right now with a lot of companies saying, hey, if you were doing remote work, it's time to call it in? I mean, I don't know. I have kind of a weird thing about this because some people look at it that if you work remote, you do less work, which I don't understand that. And that you need that vibe that if you're in the same room together. I think that the talent pool changes altogether if you are looking around and having multiple people opposed to having them coming into an office. But that's my thing. I mean, I don't know. You have to decide whatever the hell you think is best for you. People get weird about that whole work remote thing. It's kind of like I travel quite a bit for work, and for some reason, when you start explaining to people that you're traveling here or traveling there, it becomes all of a sudden that it's not so much that you're traveling for work. It's like they think that you're vacationing. It's not a vacation for the remote workers or people leaving. I mean, there are some people that try to take advantage of the system. Let's not lie here, because I'd be lying to you if I told you otherwise. But that's how it goes. You have to kind of plan for some of this stuff. Weirdly, because some people try to take advantage of everything. Anyways, take a listen to this. Mike Johnson will stick around as Speaker of the House for a little while longer. He retained his position in the vote of newly elected representatives, 218 to 215, but not without a bit of drama. 3 Republicans initially votes for other members, and 6 abstained during the first roll call. Worth noting, the House Rules package requires that 9 members to call for a vote of non-confidence of the Speaker before the entire body takes up the matter. So, the number of holdouts was likely a symbolic play to remind Johnson of their power to call him out if he doesn't deliver on conservative promises. Under Kevin McCarthy, who lasted just a few months, only 1 member had to call his outsters for the time for it to take the vote. So there you go. Anyways, 6 non-votes and 2 that were dissented eventually changed their votes to Johnson before voting formally closed. So there you go. The drama. You got to love it sometimes in regards to the things that happen. Anyway, step aside, Porch Pirates, the new way to be creepy in your neighborhood. UK police are searching for individuals wearing Spider-Man masks who have been anonymously delivering packages to homes in East Sussex in England over the past year. Yep. Delivering, not anything else. And of course, there's a video for it if you want to take a look at that one. Yeah, have a good time taking a look around for that. Anyways, a couple other things. Authorities released camera footage that's sent to them by homeowners, which shows the masked individuals leaving their packages or at least 3 separate occasions over the past year, even waving at the camera. The victims of the freebies hasn't said that it's inside the boxes, but would like the drop-offs to stop. Local police are encouraging neighbors to share anything fishy with authorities. So there you go. So a couple of weird things real quick. Filmmaker Jeff Bana has died. He was found by his assistant on Friday morning at his home in Los Angeles of an apparent suicide. Bana was married to actress Aubrey Plaza. He was 47 at the time of his passing. Also, take a listen to this. This one I found out yesterday. I was in shock when I found this out. Scientology critic Mike Rinder has died. He passed away on Sunday, according to a social media post of his wife. No cause of death was shared. Though Mike had previously revealed that he was battling cancer. In addition to writing a book about the horrors of Scientology, Rinder also co-hosted with Emmy-winning series Scientologist in the Aftermath alongside Leah Remini. He was 69 at the time of his passing. I have to tell you, when I heard this yesterday, I was like in total shock about the whole thing. Now, keep in mind that I have spent a lot of time looking into the mystery that people call Scientology, and I'm talking about from an information standpoint, just to be on the safe side. Okay, take a listen to this real quick. Let's talk about the weekend box office. Coming in at number 10 was The Fire Inside with $1.2 million. Homestead with $2.1 million. Number 8 was Gladiator 2 with $2.6 million. And number 7, Baby Girl with $4.4 million. And number 6, A Complete Unknown, $8 million. And number 5 was Wicked with $10.2 million. By the way, Wicked came out last week on streaming. Moana 2 came in at number 4 with $12.3 million. And number 3 was Nosferatu with $13.2 million. And number 2 was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with $21.2 million. And coming in at the number 1 spot was Mufasa with $23.8 million. Okay, take a listen to this real quick. The Dow gained about 339 points to close at 42,732 on Friday. The S&P increased by 73 points to close at 5,942, and the NASDAQ increased by 340 points to close at 19,621. West Texas Intermediate closed at $74 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $76 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.06 on Sunday, and Bitcoin was mostly flat on the weekend, trading just around $98,000. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $62 million jackpot or $27.7 million cash payout. And tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $220 million jackpot or $98.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, I guess you have the opportunity to do so. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do some stuff real quick? Because I think that it's going to be super important, because right around this time, we normally do our thing that we call our main story. So let's do that.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so main story. You know that we do these, well, if you hang out here, you know that we do these daily. And it's always kind of that time to sit back, relax, and go through some information together in regards of what is going on inside of the world. And here's the fun part, or the not so fun part, depending on how you want to take a look at it, is it's kind of a breakdown of what the hell is going on inside of the world at the time is normally when we start talking about these things. So as we discuss this for the first time inside of 2025, my question to you becomes the following. What are you going to do this year? What are you going to do this year to change everything? Like, seriously, what are you going to do to change everything? Because it gets interesting as we start going through the information, as we start going through all of the stuff that one would want to go through. You know, I'm talking about last year, people take a look around and go, I'm tired of doing X, Y, and Z. And when you go from this standpoint, you go, this is what I want to focus on. So if you went through that this year and you went, okay, this is what I want to focus on for this year, what exactly are those things? Because that's going to be the standpoint. You have to focus on X, you have to focus on Y, you have to focus on Z, because, hey, if you want to move forward with things, what comes to mind? There's a lot of stuff that we do sometimes that I kind of question in regards to just as a human race. So I look back at sometimes at what version of what we're doing can we make better? What version of what is going on can we do and change things? And I look at this and I'm not going to say that I chuckle at stuff, but I look at it and go, I know last year I was not happy about X. So what do I do this year to make it better? Now, there's other things that I was super excited about in regards to what happened on last year. But then I look at it, that every year you're going to have that whole thing that's going to be different. So there you go. So what do you think? What are you wanting to focus on this year? There's so many things to talk about. There's so many things to look back on and go, if I do this, where will I be in a year from now? And I know that some people sit around and have 5-year goals and 5-minute goals and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it from the standpoint like this. If you want things to change, you have to put things in motion for them to change. It can't just be one of those things that, hey, you stop from here and go, that's it. It's not how that works. So what would you like to see different this year? And what efforts have you put forward to change whatever this is? Now, listen, it can be a personal thing. It can be something at work. It can be something, entirely different than what most people would normally talk about. That's for sure. But some people get very hesitant about, I can't change anything and I can't do this. Of course you can. And we're not going to sit here and be like, you can change anything you put your mind to. But there's a lot of stuff that can change if you're willing to put in the work. And that's what sometimes happens, is that people forget that for change to occur at times, you have to put in the work. And that's going to be the key part to the whole thing. So think about that today as you're going through your day. Now, I don't know if this is day one for you. It's going back into work today for 2025, or if you've already been back earlier this week. Some people are earlier last week. I mean, just kind of depends on how your work schedule works. But man, there's a lot of interesting things to think about as we're going through the whole thing. That is for sure.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Listen at your own.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession.
Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Gas in the tank, got my bags in the back. I got nothing but dreams, and I'm okay with that. I never listen when they tell me to stop.
Okay, here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour, here hanging out on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, you know how it is. We get to move and groove and do our thing. Yeah, this one's Keep On Moving here on the Rated R Safety Show. This is brought to you by the Savage Society. Yeah, you might want to give them a little streamer-eamer action. Songs readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. And we would like to thank Savage Society for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. I gotta keep on moving. Yeah, I got to keep on moving. So there you go. Thanks to Savage Society for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's get into the move and the groove of things that we need to talk about. And let me tell you about the most important thing that I will tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. TWLOHA.com. So there you go. Some information for you. That is for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this because we got some other stuff going on inside of the world, though. That is for sure, so. Take a listen to this. Here's a little something to keep in mind for the next time that you find yourself in a heated argument and you're absolutely sure that you're right. Science has just confirmed that the more confident you feel about your stance, the more likely it is that you don't know as much as you think you do. Study coordinators at Angus Fletcher Ohio State University Project Narrative use the example when someone is stuck in traffic, carefully transporting wedding cake or that manic who just rushed past taking someone to the hospital. Fletcher said that in general, please don't stop to think whether you might be more. Hold on. Where there might be more information or what you would do to help make a more informed decision. If you give people few pieces of information that seem to line up, most will say that it sounds about right, and that is all that it needs to be good. So this is so much about a lot of passes of public disclosure on social media these days. So why isn't there, when I don't know what the hell I'm arguing about, I still lose? I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. That is for sure. Anyways, kind of a weird stuff. Kind of some weird stuff, that's for sure. Take a listen to this. It's just like the old saying, 57 channels and nothing on. Except now there's 57 streaming services, and still people are having a tough time deciding what to watch. A survey found that despite having more content at your fingertips, even before the average person spends a staggering 110 hours per year, nearly 5 full days scrolling through streaming platforms in search of something to watch. The Talker research poll conducted in the U.S. found that 1 in 5 streaming subscribers feel that finding something good to watch is harder now than a decade ago, and 41% struggled increasingly in large content libraries. 51% agree that they feel overwhelmed by the sheer content of content suggested by the streamers, and 26% feel that streamers are making too much content these days. And that, my friend, if they keep rewatching old episodes of Friends. It turns out that the true sport out of error isn't binge watching, it's scrolling through endless until you finally settle onto binge watching The Office season 5 times. So, there you go. Some stuff to think about. Anyways, let's go ahead and do this. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life for him to tell us about the Motivation Minute. Here's some John.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Tom. It's a poem by William Arthur Rohde. Another fresh new year is here, another year to live, to banish worry, doubt, and fear, to love and laugh and give. This bright new year is given me to live each day with zest, to daily grow and try to be my highest and my best. I have the opportunity once more to right some wrongs, to pray for peace, to plant a tree, and sing some joyful songs. Very nice poem to begin a new year. What can you do differently this year? Could you make a small change now that could make a big difference later? If you can, now's the time.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your motivational quotes can be submitted for an upcoming program at motivationminute.org. The Motivation Minute is courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was
from Feature Story News in London. I'm Ollie Barrett. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he hopes to see a ceasefire deal in Gaza signed within the next 2 weeks. Trent Murray reports from FSN Tel Aviv.
Arriving in South Korea as part of his final overseas trip as America's top diplomat, Secretary Blinken said the Biden administration was, quote, very much wanting to bring this over the finish line in the next 2 weeks in the time we have remaining. His comments come amid reports the Biden administration is reportedly renewing its efforts to get a deal done before President-elect Trump returns to the White House on January 20. Ceasefire talks have been held in recent days in Doha, with Israeli media reporting cautious optimism that a deal could be close. Trent Murray, Tel Aviv.
The UK government setting out plans to slash waiting times for NHS treatment. People will be able to access screening centres out of hours as part of plans to clear the NHS backlog in England. The government says it will create millions more appointments and a major improvement in waits for pre-planned care. The opposition Conservatives say it shows the Labour Party have no new ideas. Industries in Pakistan are pushing back against a proposed plan to hike taxes on natural gas supplied to private power plants. As part of an ongoing $7 billion loan program for Pakistan, the International Monetary Fund is demanding a substantial increase. Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
Industries must either transition to grid electricity or pay equivalent costs. This was a key condition that Pakistan agreed to get the latest $1 billion loan from the global lender. But the country's petroleum ministry is now facing mounting pressure from key industries, especially textile exporters and gas utilities, to scrap this decision. They claim the added costs have led to significant financial losses throughout the supply chain. According to the finance ministry, Pakistani officials did try to persuade the IMF to modify this requirement. Hira Mustafa, Islamabad.
2 infants have tested positive for the human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, in India, in the country's first confirmed cases. The health ministry says they were identified during routine surveillance. Neha Punia reports from New Delhi.
The 3-month-old has already been discharged from hospital while the 8-month-old is still recovering. Both cases have been reported in the southern Indian city of Bengaluru. The infants and their families have no recent travel history, and the government has ruled out exposure from other regions or countries. India says there's no cause for alarm yet, but says it has increased laboratory capacity for HMPV testing. Hospitals have also been asked to strengthen isolation protocols for suspected cases. Neha Punia, New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. I sometimes have a hard time believing that the words I say to God in private can affect the rise and fall of governments and the course of history. I choose to believe prayer has that kind of power because the Bible says it does, and history has shown it to be true. But it's not easy. My prayers often feel small and irrelevant, more like an exercise in futility than a world-shaping joint venture with God. Reminding myself that when you fill a pond with rock, that the first 100 loads disappear beneath the surface of the water helps some. But I still struggle. Lord, help our prayers to be fervent and effective. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, Infiltration Radio Big. Here we go, 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2021, protesters descend on Washington, D.C. during the certification of the Electoral College. Members of Congress and then Vice President Mike Pence were evacuated and held in lockdown areas, and some of the protesters broke into the Capitol complex. Some would eventually face years-long prison sentences for being on site. Eventually, security officials retook control of the building, and Congress certified the vote. That happened back on this date, back in 2021. Also today, let's talk about some birthdays. Courtney Eaton turns 29. Jamie's Winston turns 31. Alex Turner, 39. Kevin Strahl turns 41. Kate McKinnon turns 41 as well. Eric Trump turns 41 as well. Let's see, a lot of 41s. And AJ Hawk turns 41 as well. Mike Jones turns 44. Johnny Young Bosch turns 49. Norman Reedus turns 56. Nancy Lopez, 68, and Rowan Atkinson turns 70 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have some of those for you. It's National Thank God It's Monday, National Cuddle Up Day, and National Bean Day. Yes, National Bean Day. That's a thing for you, just in case. If you need a rando-ando joke for today, I definitely have one of those, so why don't we share that with you? That is for sure. I used to procrastinate, but I got so good, I went pro. You get it? I hope you do. Anyways, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's the story behind the last time you slept for more than 9 hours? Like, how many drugs were you on? No, I'm just joking as I say that. So there you go. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 75% say this skill automatically makes you more attractive. What is it? Cooking. So what if you're a comedian and a cooker? I mean, I don't know, and a cook. I mean, how does that work? Does that kind of put you over the top? I'm just asking. I never know. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so, talking about the world of music and entertainment, so you have that option. If you don't want to come over there, that's perfectly fine. You can stay on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. There you go. That's it. That sums it up. So thank you for hanging out with me during this first episode back, because it's always a good time as we get to do our thing. That is for sure. Anyways, if I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Perfection is boring, and getting better is where all the fun is. Keep that in mind. Anyways, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Gotta keep on moving. My mama always told me that I couldn't sit still. I gotta keep on moving.